Back here on The Sweat, we're sticking with hoops, but making our way to the college ranks where conference tournament season is just getting started.
Oh, yes, it's a great slate. I mean, tomorrow as well, so let's have a little chit-chat about it with DK Nation's college sports editor, Collin Sherwin. Start us off with your favorite bet tonight, dude.
So, guys, last night I was up very late because it's college basketball season, and that's what we do. And I watched the San Diego Toreros really struggle with the Pepperdine Waves, like to the point where you're struggling with a 1-17 team in the league. They had to exert a ton of energy. And the structure of the West Coast Conference tournament is that the team you play tomorrow didn't play the day before because there is a single bye, a double bye, and a triple bye. The Portland Pirates now get those Toreros tonight. They are only laying 1.5. I love this game. It took everything, and I mean everything, that San Diego had last night to get on the board and to get through. Portland should really run away with the spot. This should be the line anyway, but with the amount of energy that San Diego had to exert, I'm really going with the Pilots tonight.
Oh. All right, so on the DK Sportsbook, we got futures on the board for most of the smaller conference tournaments. So as of right now, whose odds do you like to punch their automatic ticket to the dance?
So I don't see any way that Murray State loses. They only got to play 2 games to win. They're minus 190, so the price isn't too great. So I really like that one. If you want something that's a little more fun and interesting, there are, let me find it because I got to see where it moved to. Here it is, Bellarmine in the Atlantic Sun Tournament. So they match up pretty well with Liberty. Liberty doesn't take a lot of threes. The thing that Bellarmine doesn't do well at all is defend the three. Pretty good at everything else, but they just give up open shots like crazy. Liberty is not a team that can take advantage of that. So if you want a little bit of a flyer here, I don't hate Bellarmine to win the Atlantic Sun at plus 900. So it's a good price.
All right, let's move on to Saturday here because we mentioned that's a great slate as well. A lot on the line for conference seeding and bubble teams. We know that. That happens this time of year. How about a top 15 matchup, though, in the SEC, Arkansas, Tennessee? Which side are you on here?
I am going to be on Arkansas the rest of the way. Better coached, just a team that really gives 40 minutes of effort. Their depth is going to really start to come out in March, and that's where they really have some strength. And plus, just there's a trend, and I didn't pull a specific number, but if you follow college basketball, if you have the opportunity to bet against Rick Barnes in March, just do it. I don't care if he's at Texas, Tennessee, like anywhere. Like if Rick Barnes is coaching an AAU team or his high school kids, bet against him in March. This is going back 20 years. If you have a chance to fade Tennessee, do it. I really like Arkansas all the way the rest of the way as well. That's one of the best coach teams in the country under Eric Musselman.
All right, out in the Pac-12, 2 more potential higher seeds in the tournament facing off. USC heading across town to UCLA. So which team needs a win more in this one, and who do you think is coming out on top?
I think it's pretty even as to who. I mean, these are both teams that are going to get into the tournament. UCLA is going to get the better seed, but I'm not hugely a fan of like this need at this point. The need they're going to want is through the Pac-12 tournament because that's when they're going to really want to put put it away. USC matches up really well with UCLA. UCLA has struggled at times to score the basketball for extended stretches against teams that aren't as good. I like USC here, especially to cover. Figuring that line's going to be around 8, 7.5, 8, maybe as high as 9. And if it's anywhere in that range, I'll be on USC.
All right, well, speaking of needing a win here, which team absolutely needs one this weekend so they don't have to rely on a long conference tournament run to get in here?
It's more about not blowing it at this point for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They play at Penn State this weekend, and this just seems like a really tricky spot. This could be the one that could get them. They're right on that bubble. And if they don't find a way to get this one through, I think they could be in trouble. You can sort of lose in the first or second round of the Big Ten tournament, and that league is so deep that you're going to be okay. But you can't lose to Penn State. And so I think that is a huge, huge game this weekend. Ron Harper Jr. is one of the most exciting players to watch in the country. He needs better teammates. But I think if Rutgers can find a way to get this done, I think they're going to be safe.
All right, along those lines, we also have odds on some of those bubble teams who might need a nice run in their conference tournament to sneak into the big dance. So do you have your eye on anyone's odds there, like before we finish the regular season?
Before we finish whose odds do I like to win their conference tournament? So San Diego State's playing really well right now. They got that big win at Wyoming, which I think was a huge factor in where they're going to be and how they're going to be playing the rest of the way. San Diego State at plus 310 seems like a really good price to me. I would think they win that tournament at least 1/3 of the time. So I think you're getting a really, really good number with San Diego State. This is a weird year. There hasn't been too many crazy upsets yet, but I think those start to kick in right about now. This is going to be a fun weekend. If you love college basketball, just glue yourself to the couch. Realize that the major conferences are going to start to take over next week, but we're going to get our first winners starting tomorrow in conference tournaments in the OVC. And the first automatic bid will probably be Murray State at a -190. That seems like a lock.
Yeah, we know your South Florida Bulls will be glued to the couch for most of March Madness. So
they were yesterday's pick here at the Sweat, and they did cover. They did cover the 12.5. So.
There he is. There's my guy.